All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. With your boy MattyB here on the call, and it is great to be back once again. Your purveyor of your last destination of your Philadelphia sports day, and it's it's not easy being me. I'll just kind of lead off with that. It's not easy being me because there's a lot of. We're going to talk about some things tonight that might upset some people. We're going to talk about some things tonight that might enlighten some people. But the bottom line here, obviously, is your Philadelphia Phillies continue to scuttle, and they continue to scuttle hard. 10-4 losers tonight. They've now lost, what, 3 in a row, is it? What is this on my nose? What's going on? What is that? 3 in a row. 3 in a row now. The Phillies have lost tonight, 10-4 losers at the hands of the San Francisco Giants. And, yes, this game was a wash in controversy. There's the JT Realmuto called third strike in the bottom of the 7th inning with runners on first and second. A rally killer that, I guess the people are kind of blaming this loss on. I don't know how you're going to blame one pitch on a loss because the Phillies were, again, outplayed, outclassed, outmuscled, and out-finessed by a San Francisco Giant team that came in here and just sort of smacked the Phillies in the face. Taijuan Walker, again, not as effective as he's been. Had that one bad inning, but if you take away that second inning, a pretty damn good outing for Taijuan. But we're going to get into some more Phillies talk as Sal G started us off with on the Fightins final. So we'll continue the Phillies talk. Tonight's theme of the show, our main topic here tonight, is going to be, as you can see by the graphic, championships. Is that such a bad thing to be like centered around championships? With the way the Phillies are struggling, some of the narrative that's been brought up about the Phillies is that people are not enjoying the regular season of baseball, that we are so in this town when it comes to this baseball team, so ready to just fast forward to October and get on to the pennant race. And first, there's like two schools of thought for me here with that. One, yeah, of course we are. This team is built to win a World Series. They got a payroll of players that's built to win a World Series. And yeah, we want to win a World Series. And is that so bad when you've only won 2 in 142 years? Now, does it change my enjoyment of a regular season on a personal level? No, I enjoy every single baseball game I can get my hands on. But there is tension, a lot of it, on the Phillies, especially now that they're struggling as bad as they are, 9-7 now on the year, to whether or not this is a World Series team. And we've seen this team get to sort of certain heights throughout the last few years and then let us down and get lesser the year after that, let us down, get lesser the year after that, and let us down. Could we be watching the end of this little run that the Phillies have been on over the last few seasons? And based on what we see on the field tonight and what we've seen on the field over the past week or so, what difference are you seeing now that you saw in 2024? This was a big sticking point in the offseason with me and a lot of other people that I'm friendly with. They did nothing to change or address the issues of 2024. So the frustrations, though, are legit from Phillies fans. They're legit frustrations, but they're being directed at the wrong people. The players that are playing on the field are the same that walked off in 2024, the same group that could not get the job done in 24, 23, or 22. So why are you mad at them? What did they do to you? They failed years ago. Management has let you down. The manager has let you down. Dave Dombrowski has let you down. John Middleton has let you down. So direct the venom where it needs to be directed at them. They have let you down. They tried to make you believe that this team, constructed as it was heading out of 2024, was a World Series contending team when we knew the eye test said something different. And be patient, don't be negadelphian, don't jump to conclusions 16 games into a season. It's not 16 games, folks. It's a whole half a season plus 16 games. So that's where I think a lot of the frustration is on this baseball team. And is there a sense here in this city? Do we hang on every pitch of a 162 game regular season? Yeah, we do. Of course. That's why I'm happy to be a member of the Philadelphia sports fan base. I wouldn't have it any other way. I hang on every pitch of the Phillies season. I hang on every play of the Eagles season, every puck possession of the Flyers season. And until I was completely out in the Sixers, every possession of the Sixers season. That's what we do here. Have you not gotten the memo yet? So be critical, be frustrated. Don't listen to those out there trying to tell you to get off the ledge, because they're wrong, because your eyes are telling you the truth. And I want you to keep that phrase on your mind as we are going to, I'm going to school you tonight. That's right. MattyB is going to take you to school on that JT Realmuto pitch, because I want to show you out there that it was indeed a strike. Matter of fact, it got a big old piece of the plate. And JT deserved to strike out because, and again, I don't want to spoil the surprise. We're going to get into that segment here momentarily. But championships, they are what it's about. And if you're not in it to win a championship, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Everybody, the Eagles won a Super Bowl. That was the pinnacle, right? That's what everybody wanted. Why can't you want the same thing for your baseball team? And why can't you be uber critical of them when they are seemingly not able to complete that mission? So we're going to get into championships and what they really mean and if they're that important here as we move through the program. It's arrogance of the Phillies organization. It is, Barbara. We've heard it. I've heard it now for 3 different off seasons. Coming out of 2022, it was, and I remember it distinctly. I was sitting right here listening to Rob Thompson say that he might switch around the lineup and put Kyle Schwarber down lower in the lineup. That was the first time he addressed that. Now, of course, here we are in 2025, still talking about that. But that was the first time. Then coming out of 2023, I heard it again. And I also heard about we got to strengthen our bench. We got to put ourselves in better position. I got to be better recognizing situational baseball when it comes to relief pitchers and when it comes to certain aspects of a game. Here we are still talking about that same problem in 2025. Last offseason, during their exit press conference, again, I heard about how Rob Thompson is definitely going to look at moving people down inside the lineup, moving Schwarber down. Now what we're doing is this insanity of every day someone new is leading off. Every day someone new is batting 6th. Every day somebody new is batting wherever. That's not how you do that. You don't fix that by mixing and matching the pieces that you already have that are not working. You go out and you find new pieces to be successful. The Phillies did not do that this offseason. They failed to address everything that we knew was wrong with this team. Center field was a mess. Center field is still a mess. Rob Thompson says heading into this game, I'm going to give Brandon Marsh a few games off, 3 games, whatever it was, for a mental reset. Should you give him his little blankie and his binky and his mommy puppet too? He plays baseball, for God's sakes, man. You can do it or you can't do it. And then he ends up getting back in the game as a defensive replacement. So we're gonna sit Marsh for 3 games, and we're gonna be stuck with a steady diet of Johan Rojas as the center fielder. And Johan Rojas does not deserve to smell the hot dogs are cooking inside of a Major League Baseball stadium. Last year, he should have been back down in AAA. They sent him back in AAA. He should have been left there to marinate. And we said it coming out of the season. And I remember saying it personally to myself, I don't want to go through another year of Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh platoon. And where are we right now? We're back in another year of Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas' platoon. Coming out of the season last year, Alec Bohm was checked the hell out. Benched in the playoffs. A shell of himself, the shell of the man who was an all-star and a, greatest first half in the history of Phillies baseball. A shell of that. It wasn't a matter of when or if. It was a matter of when they were going to trade him in the offseason. What do? Bring him right back into a position where he's struggling. And what has he done now? To his credit, he got a double tonight. Congratulations there, Alec. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for getting on base. But we did not address it. We're wishing it away. The bullpen with no roles. I ain't gonna go. I am so tired of beating on these dead horses. I am so sick of it. And I want to preface it all by saying it's not 16 games, folks. It's a half a season plus 16. When are the Phillies and when is the fan base, the number one stockholders in all of this, going to say enough's enough? Enough is enough. JT Realmuto, to his credit, listen, he came within a hair. I actually thought that home run, the way it was going over, I thought it clipped the outer edge of that foul pole, because it looked like, to me, it changed directions drastically once it got to the foul pole, but I guess it didn't. And then we're going to get into the JT Realmuto third strike, because I want to school some of you armchair umpires, some of you people out there who feel as if the umpires are some sort of like conglomeration of WWF referees that are out there for a narrative or to create drama. Now, I'm going to school you tonight on what a strike is, what a strike isn't, when a strike is supposed to be called versus when a pitch is still live. We're going to get into that. So I got the video to back me up, but I don't want to jump. I don't want to jump ahead of that. Tonight we're also going to do our Day in Philadelphia Sports History. We'll continue on with our MLB jersey segment. We are now heading into the NL Central, and of course our card review. The great things that we do here on the program, and I want to thank everybody for their participation in the final word, the Fight's final. Sal was banging away on the comments all night long, so thank you for the support. Remind everybody that everything on the It's a Wrap Sports Network is brought to you by the great shows here on the It's a Wrap Network. The Wraparound, the PNM and the AM program coming back on May 4th, the Attacking Third, the Final Word with MattyB, the Fighting's Final, Clear the Ice, the Birds Fly By, Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn, all those great programs that we do here on the network. Thank you for your continued support, and please like, share, subscribe on the bells there, Twitter, Facebook, all those places. So let's get into some of the comments. I'm sorry, Barbara, I left you hanging there. It is the arrogance of the Phillies organization. I said it last night, Barbara. Is this the plan? This can't be the plan, right? There's got to be something else to this, a part B that we're not seeing it. But if this was the plan about how they were going to attack 2025, it's a fireable offense. It's a fireable offense for both Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson. It's a fireable offense. We are a joke of a baseball team right now, folks. An absolute joke. When attendance starts slipping, changes will be made. Yeah, but Barbara, we're going to waste a whole season. Like, I look back on that 2022 season and I look at the Joe Girardi situation, firing him in early June, 7 games under 500. They went on that run after that and propelled them into the World Series. Now, I'm not saying that that's coming up, because I honestly think the players on this team are not World Series type players. I don't. And I said 88 wins to start the year. I wasn't on board for any 90 win season. I didn't think they were that good. I thought they lost some things in some areas that they failed to replace, i.e. the bullpen. So I said 88 wins and the wild card berth. I didn't expect them to win the division. I thought they were going to make it as a wild card team. And I know that we're going to probably get, as we move through this season, past April, May, and into June, depending on where we're at, we're going to probably start discussing some of the options to save the season, and then that's might be where we're headed. Now, I don't know if we're headed there yet in April. We're 6-6 in the month of April. Now, for those of you that recall, back in that magical April of 2024, when the Phillies were off to that amazingly hot start of 2024, April was the month that pushed them right out into the, right out front. And for the month of April last year, for those of you that might have forgotten, the Phillies were an amazing 19-9. So right now, the Phillies are sitting 6-6 in April. So in 4 more losses, the Phillies would have, ended up getting more losses than they had last April. Now, I also said heading into the season that might not necessarily be a bad thing. This team might have to they may perform better when they have to kind of catch up. But it's frustrating to sit through here. It's frustrating to know you had problems with the team. To know the problem areas. It wasn't like we were like kind of wondering, hey, Is it because so-and-so is not playing, here or so-and-so? No, we knew center field was a mess. We knew third base was a mess. We knew the bullpen without Rolls didn't work. But where are we? We're sitting in the same spot with the same problems, man. How does this fan base, the greatest, most hardcore fan base in the world, how do you accept that? And I'm talking to you, Phillies Nation, talking to you, Philadelphia. How do you sit here and accept that? That's what's frustrating, and that's what is uber frustrating to me. And I know there's the homers out there and sunshine and rainbows. I'm not talking about them. They can go and do whatever they do. I'm talking about the real fans. And still, I think to this day, the real fans still outnumber the homers. I really do. Why are you allowing this to happen? Now, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the media would be going hardcore out against the Phillies right now. But because there's such, the whole media credential, you can't speak negative, you're going to get thrown out of the ballpark, don't be kissing employees, all that stuff's out of bounds now. You got to go in there and kiss ass, and you can't really ask questions that you want to ask. And that's the soft-ass Philadelphia media. That's the soft-ass Philadelphia culture that we live in. Nobody wants to take a dose of truth serum and accept the situation that they're in. And we don't have the mainstream media anymore in our back pocket. We don't have them as our biggest allies anymore because they're too afraid of getting thrown out of the ballpark and getting banned. So what do you do, man? And Barbara mentions attendance. That would work, but that's a prolonged, time, and we're going to waste a whole season trying to get there. Baseball is best because it's every day. Yeah, hallelujah to that, Barbara. Hallelujah to that. Joe, what's up, man? How you doing tonight, Joe? Stott isn't a leadoff hitter. They're reaching for straws there. Stott is not a leadoff hitter, and so far in 2025, Stott has now led off 3 times. Turner's led off 4 times. So, who is it? I thought we were going to do the platoon between Turner and Kyle Schwarber. Now we're adding Bryson Stott into that mix. Who's next? Is Alec Boehm next to lead off? Is Johan Rojas going to lead off next? Am I leading off for the Phillies tomorrow night? Is he going to bring me in? I mean, why not? We can't do any worse than what's happening out there now. Can the Phillies trade both of them? Both of who, Joe? I've been on a rant about a lot of different people. I need to know what you're talking about. Jim Salisbury said Marsh has to play every day in the major leagues, not in the minors. Another cheerleader type cover. Yeah, exactly. Why? Well, so you're telling me we're going to use the Nick Castellanos treatment here for a player that has been lost for about a season and a quarter now? We're not quite, into the quarter mark yet, but okay, season in 16 games, completely lost in a season in 16 games. Prior to last season, he was hanging on, but you're right. That's what I mean, Barbara. The media is no longer in our back pocket. They no longer serve the interests of the fans. They serve their own interests. The Philadelphia sports media serves their own interests. That's why shows like this, networks like this, that are now starting to raise their voices and pound on their drums and bang down the doors, are eventually going to take those soft-ass media members over. And we're going to put them out of business eventually. And one day, I'll be down there sticking a microphone to someone's face, asking why you suck so bad. So hopefully it checks itself out. But you're absolutely 100% correct, Barbara, by that statement. I just realized that Hertz looks exactly like the a little random thought there, Barbara. Okay, I'll buy that. I'm totally off. Okay, I think the pitch to JT was a strike, but as I told Sal, striker ball didn't matter. Phillies were not winning. Michael, let's. I love king of the segues. You guys are segue mavens for me. So I am going to let's bypass the day in Philadelphia sports history. It wasn't a good one. It was John LeClair, 2000, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals against the Sabres. The game where he shoots the puck through the back of the net, through the hole. You guys remember that game? There was a hole in the net, and he shot it through, and it never came up as a goal. They had to review it and blah, blah, blah. That was your night in Philadelphia sports history. It was pretty blasé. But let's get into the question of the night. And trust me, when I saw this in real time, I had the same reaction as everybody else did. Like, oh my God, he called that a strike. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know how you come out on the coin. We don't have the best seat in the house to call balls and strikes. Sitting on your Barco lounge or watching baseball on your TV set is not the greatest vantage point to call balls and strikes. The greatest vantage point to call balls and strikes is exactly where the home plate umpire stands, right over the catcher. He's seeing it all. Now, so, and again, people get wrapped around this stupid box and the stat tracker and all this other crap and, and whatever. People have let technology kind of fill their life with lies. I tell you, lies. But tonight we're going to drop some truth. And Michael says he thinks it was a strike. And I want to show you, everybody, that it was most definitely a strike. And I'm going to teach you, and for those of you, and I don't mean to insult anyone's intelligence, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to enlighten, enrich, enhance, entertain. A lot of ease, right? But I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but let's bring it up because it's bothering me. It's bothered me to no end because I know there's people out there that just love it when an umpire screws up and they want to jump all over this poor guy like he doesn't belong where he doesn't belong doing what he does for a living. And again, I'm not saying umpires are perfect. No, they're not. Absolutely not. They make mistakes all the time. But in this call, there was no mistake. So here we are. That's it. There it is, everybody. The infamous play. Now, before we get into breaking this bad boy down, I do want to set it up. I want to set it up because I want you guys to see what I'm seeing. And I want to put you mentally, emotionally engaged into this play. Bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies are down by 4 runs. Runners on first and second, a full count and 2 outs. This is a definite hinge point of this baseball game. A 100% hinge point for this baseball game. The pitcher knows it. By the way, that's Miller. That's the guy the Phillies traded to the Giants for Junior Marte. For all you, we talked about this last night. But I want to put this in the proper context. The pitcher knows how important this next pitch is. The catcher knows how important the next pitch is. The batter knows how important the next pitch is. And the umpire certainly knows how important this next pitch is. Now, I can give you my own personal, standpoint where I come out on these types of situations, but I'm not going to do that. I'm a big fan of swing the bat, young man, swing the bat. But that's besides the point on this, right? Now, there's another thing that's probably happening that we can't hear, we can't see, and I'm sure you might have heard this before if you've ever been to a lower level baseball game. There's a lot of chatter coming out of that dugout, and in this situation, the hitter JT Realmuto's got to understand and know that anything close is going to get called. Because that's just how it is, in this type of situation. Anything close is probably going to get called. He also needs to be a defensive hitter. He needs to protect 2 strikes, 3 balls, an important part of the game. So let's roll the tape because I want to show you guys something. So Miller's going to go into his windup. Here comes the pitch, and I'm going to stop it right there. Oh, I messed up. I hate this thing, man. Absolutely hate this thing. But let's stop it right there. Okay. So right here at this particular moment in time, what do you see? I'm going to tell you what I see. I see a ball. The ball is way outside the strike zone. Look at the catcher's glove. He's reaching for that bad boy. But what else do you see? I see a ball that has not been caught. I see a ball that is still in flight. I see a play that is still live. And I also see the umpire. Look at the umpire back here. He hasn't given up on the play. He hasn't given up on the ball because the ball is still in play. This is not a ball. This is not a strike at this particular moment in time. This is a ball in flight. This is a play that's live. We are still waiting for the outcome of this of this play to finish. Now, one of the things they teach you when you're becoming an umpire is never, ever, 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 ever give up on a pitch until it's caught by the catcher. Don't think that because it's coming in 18 inches wide, okay, it's definitely going to be a ball, so I can take the pitch off, or I can stand up, or I can start looking in the audience and, picking my teeth, whatever. Never give up on a pitch until it is till it is caught by the catcher. Because in this day and age, some of the wonky mechanics of some of these pitchers and some of the nasty stuff what some of these cats can throw, balls can start off 18 inches outside and end up splitting right down the middle of the plate. And that's what happens here, because I'm going to let it go. Now, I'm not fast enough to stop it, but I want you to watch from this particular vantage point. And again, at this moment in time, I remember watching this live. This is when they flashed up the little ball of the stat tracker thing. And that's when people got pissed off, because they thought that graphic controlled by some nerd in a control room somewhere, when he pressed the button to say that was a pitch and that was the end of it, that was the end of the pitch. It wasn't. The pitch was yet to be caught by the catcher. I'm going to play it. I want you to watch the ball. I want you to watch where the catcher catches the ball, and you tell me whether or not it's a strike. Are you ready? Let's go. Boom. That ball is literally over the heart of the plate. Let's play it again. Let's move it back. God damn. Here we go. I'm going to let it roll all the way. There it goes. There it goes. Boom. Caught it inside the zone. Caught it over the plate. That is a goddamn strike. Six times on Saturday, once on Sunday, whatever you call it. That is a strike. What's got people all bent out of shape is that stupid little tracker. That's a strike. It's caught by the catcher over the plate. JT should sit his ass down for getting fooled on a sweeping breaking ball type pitch that locked him up 3-2 with 2 outs in the 7th inning. That's a strike. The ball is caught over the strike zone. One more time. I want to play it again from one more time and let it roll. Here we go in real time. Well, not real time, but let it roll. Boom. Where is it caught? It's caught over the plate. See the little thing there, the 86-mile-an-hour thing that was erroneously put up there because the ball had not been caught yet. That is a strike. Good call by the umpire. JT Realmuto in that situation, 3 balls and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 7th inning, where the Phillies are desperate for offense, should have done better. Don't blame the umpire for doing his job. Now, tomorrow when they release the report cards, I'll look to see if that showed up as a pivotal missed call or pivotal correct call, whatever. And I guarantee it's not going to be on there, because MLB saw it. New York has watched it probably about 1,000 times already, and they're seeing the same thing I did. The ball began outside, but was caught inside the strike zone. And it wasn't even a frame job. That ball caught an immense part of the plate. So sit the hell down, you armchair umpires who are blaming the Phillies losing tonight 10-4 on a strike, an obvious strike. So there you go. I had to do that. I'm sorry. Does Long need to be does Long be the scapegoat? No. Kevin Long, listen, Kevin Long, what's Kevin Long, man? These kids don't listen to Kevin Long. They listen to Kevin Long. I would love to know exactly how much of an impact a hitting coach has at the MLB level. All right. No, Kevin Long doesn't need to be scapegoat. And if Kevin Long is fired over this start, that is truly that's a coward move by the Phillies. John Middleton needs to call Dave Dombrowski in his office and say, Dave, you told me this was going to work. You told me running this thing back was going to work with these same players. You got about 6 weeks to fix it, or you're going to be looking for a new job. And now, and then probably right after that, Rob Thompson. No, Kevin Long is a coward move. If you fire the hitting coach, that's a coward move. Rob Thompson's the manager. Rob Thompson's the one pulling the strings every day. Rob Thompson's the one that won't sit Alec Bohm. Rob Thompson's the one who's telling us that Brandon Marsh needs 3 days off to get a mental reset, so we're going to get a steady hot dose of Johan Rojas. That's Rob Thompson. That's not Kevin Long, man. 2022 was a mirage, and they just made up third wild card with 87 wins, not championship worthy. Honestly, yeah, but they got hot when they needed to. And Barbara, it's okay. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a mirage. Listen, they got in and they went on a great run. And I honestly thought they were going to win the World Series. When they beat Houston game 1 with JT in the bottom of the 10th inning, I thought they were going to win the friggin' World Series. And I thought this was going to be one of those magical type seasons that came literally out of nowhere, more so than 93. In 93, they were in first place all year long. This thing came out of absolutely nowhere. They were, a burgeoning team, almost 10 games over 500 most of the season, hovering around there. But they got hot when they did, and they carried that over into 23. I got to give them credit, man. They were another wild card team in 23, but then again, they went on that run, got back to the NLCS, and then it's just sort of kind of crumbled from there. So listen, they're a good baseball team. They got good players. They're just not complete, and they haven't been complete since they brought in Schwarber and freaking Castellanos. Dombrowski has no clue. I mean, extending Robbie says, extending Robbie by 1 year is not saying at all. Michael, I disagree wholeheartedly. And I've been saying this over the last few years. If you're so in love with a guy, why don't you lock him down long term? They're dinking and dunking with him, a 1 year extension here, a 2 year extension there. They don't know what they got in Rob Thompson. That should tell you right off the bat that they don't even know what they expect out of him, or they don't even know how they feel about him. It's the fact that they've never locked him down long term. 1 or 2 year extensions tells me a lot about what a team really thinks of you. I mean, think about it. Phil Jackson wasn't getting 1 or 2 year extensions by the Bulls. Now he was getting mega contracts because he was winning championships. So why are they not, if they're so in love with Rob Thompson, if they believe so much in him, why isn't he locked down to a 7, 5, 6, 8 year deal? Because they don't believe in him. They don't know what they have in him. Clueless Kevin Long has 2 clueless assistants need to go and bring a whole new philosophy. The whole coaching staff needs to be changed, Michael. I agree. The woke society is yes, and wokeness. Turner's best years were leading off before he became a Philly, and we don't even lead him off. We don't, man. The platoon leadoff was supposed to be between Turner and Schwarber, and we don't do that anymore. Now we're putting Stott in there. And that's another thing with Rob. He's consistent when he comes to certain players. He's loyal to those players. He's loyal to Castellanos, lets them play the whole season through mega struggles. But the first time someone struggles at the top of the lineup, he's switching people around. Why was Alec Bohm? Alec Bohm was batting 6th yesterday in St. Louis. Why? Can anybody answer that question for me? Why is Alec Bohm batting 6th? Today he was batting 8th, which was more like where he needs to be. Rob Thompson doesn't know what he's doing with the lineup. And I wonder how much it's Rob Thompson or it's the players coming to him and say, I don't want to bat 8th. I want to bat 6th. I don't want to lead off. I want to bat 4th. Or I want to lead off. I don't want to bat 4th. How much of that is happening in that dugout right now? And that would make the job even harder for another manager to come in here and try to fix that if the entitlement is as bad as I think it is. Rojas and Marsh. Absolutely. Ship them both out of here, man. Ship them both out of here. Amaro might be tied with Ben Davis. Davis's. I don't know, man. Listen, during that call, that strike 3, I remember listening to T-Mac and Ruben. I thought Ruben was going to fall through the TV set. That's how pissed off he was. But I just debunked that. I just showed you that not only are you guys, and please take it respectfully. I don't mean any disrespect, but not only are you guys wrapped around technology, watching that stupid little ball, that box, that nonsense, but so is he and T-Mac. They would not let the play out. I've just slowed it down for you 5, 6, 7 times and showed you where that ball was caught inside the strike zone. It was a strike. It didn't look like it. The ball came in from the outside, but you never give up on a pitch until it's caught. And you're right. They almost fell through the TV screen. Now, they're going to eventually see it slow down. They're going to be like, yeah, that's a strike, right? But that's not going to stop the instant reactions of so-called experts, so-called people that you trust to deliver you the truth. And Ben Davis is terrible, absolutely terrible as a homer. He might be the biggest homer I've ever seen in my life. It's time for ABS. Why, Kevin? Why was it time for ABS? Did you not see my breakdown? Let's break it down for Kevin one time. I want to break this down for Kevin because Kevin, I don't think, was here. So let's break it down for Kevin one more time, folks. I got to do it. Kevin's making me do it. I'm going to break it down because I love showing it, and I want to. Let's break it down, Kevin. I'm going to show you where your ABS is going to help you. What is ABS going to tell you right here, Kevin? Here we go. Let's pop it back to the front. Now I'm going to do it like I did earlier. I'm going to start it, and I'm going to stop at a certain point. So here it is. The pitch is going to come. It's going to go. It's going to go. I got to slow down a lot. We're going to stop it right here. Now, Kevin, that's a ball, right? Is that a ball? No, that's not a ball. It's not a ball. Is that a strike? No, it's not a strike. It's a live ball. It's an incomplete play. It's the pitch on its way to the plate. What is ABS going to tell you there, Kevin? ABS is going to tell you that that is not a pitch right now. It's not where the ball starts. It's where the ball ends. Now let's pop it and let's play it. Boom. That's a strike, Kevin. ABS is going to confirm that's a strike. Now I know what you're going to say. And I just saw it kind of pop up in the back. That little stupid box right there that says it was a ball before it was caught. The ball wasn't caught at that point. The ball was caught when the catcher wrapped his glove around the ball to catch it inside the strike zone. ABS is going to tell you that that's a strike. It would have been a wasted challenge by JT. He would have lost the challenge. That's what ABS is going to tell you. And in that situation with runners on first and second, 3-2 in the 7th inning, you can't even expect to take that pitch. I wouldn't even want to try to take that pitch. You got to be up there battling, protecting, defensive hitting. Get the ball out of the infield, into the outfield, score a run. You're not in a position. It's not a hitter's count, 3-2. It's popular or contrary to popular belief, that's not a hitter's count, 3-2. It's a pitcher's count, 3-2. All the mental exhaustion that's going on in a hitter's mind at 3-2 at the bottom of the 7th inning with runners on first and second, the hitter's mind's going crazy. The pitcher has all the goddamn power and the advantage, and you just saw how that worked because JT got locked up by that pitch. Let's play it again. So we're going to roll it. We're going to roll it. We're going to stop it again right here. See, I hate this thing. We're going to roll it, and we're going to stop it right there. Okay. Is that a ball, Kevin? Kevin, is that a ball? No. Is that a strike? No. It's a live pitch. It's an incomplete play. It's a ball in flight. But is this a strike? That's a strike, Kevin. Right over the plate. It's that pretty little box that popped up erroneously by some 22-year-old nerd working in the control room somewhere for NBC 10. There you go, Kevin. Take your ABS and you know what. Now, I'm not saying there's not a place for ABS. I'm not saying that they get it all right. Not. But I am saying they got it right there. And you just watch the videotape. The Phillies are no good. Okay, Ricky. But isn't what matters is where they crosses home plate and not the catcher's mitt? Huh? It crossed home plate as it was caught by the catcher. The play has to finish, Kevin. The play has to finish, and in a ball and strike on a pitched ball, the play finishes either when the ball is hit or the ball is caught by the catcher. It did cross home plate. You just saw that. The umpire waited until the play was complete, and he made his call. And again, I said this earlier. You never give up on a play, and I know I'm an umpire. You're taught you stay down till the play is over, and when the play is over when the ball hits the catcher's mitt or when the ball is launched out into the infield or outfield. That's when the play is over. That was a strike, and you just saw video evidence. That's okay. I'll accept all apologies. Ricky is watching. I know, Ricky. You told me that already. As a catcher himself, JT has stolen lots of strikes with his frame. Barbara, that wasn't even a frame job. It wasn't even framing. The ball crossed over the middle of the, matter of fact, the ball got the middle of the plate. It wasn't even a frame job. The catcher stuck his glove out, right? The ball and then he backs his glove up into the strike zone before he catches the ball. It wasn't even a frame job. In my opinion, it wasn't even a frame. That ball was a strike. And to be so egregious, oh my God, it's 18 feet outside. That's terrible. You don't know what you're talking about. And I don't mean you, Barbara, but they don't know what they're talking about. They're following that stupid little box and that stupid little graphic. That was a strike, and you guys just saw it. Okay, what do you not disagree? What do you disagree with? That the ball didn't cross the heart of the plate? That the ball was in flight? That the ball was in flight, and as it crosses the middle of the plate, the catcher catches it. What are you disagreeing with? Or are you trying to fool yourself into thinking that that's the reason why the Phillies lost? Because of that one pitch in that one moment of time. And you don't want to admit that JT got frozen by a pitch that started 18 inches outside and then came sweeping across and caught him and locked his ass up. What do you disagree with? It's the ball. Get your. It's the ball. Get my glasses checked. Did I not just show you video evidence? Did I not just show you where the ball is caught? Gotta love it, man. Gotta love the fans. JT is no good. So what's your thoughts about challenging balls and strikes in spring training? No, Joe, I just said that there's a place for it. There absolutely is. I am not telling you that they're 100%. I am not telling you that they don't miss stuff. I not at all. And I am in favor of the ABS. I am. Because it's all about getting the call right. And that's the ultimate umpire goal, is to get the call correct. Not whether or not I personally got it right or wrong. It's about getting a call right. And how we have to go about doing that is the number one concern on the field for every umpire. It is. There's no personalities involved in like, oh, you got that wrong. No, it's all about trying to get it right. And no, I'm in favor of it. Now, it would have been interesting if ABS was implemented. Obviously, they would have used it if they had the challenges at the time. And I would have liked to have seen what New York in that graphic, because it's not the same graphic you're watching on NBC 10. It's a different graphic. How they would have accounted for that pitch. Because as we already just discussed, yes, it was outside, completely outside until the very end. I had a pitch tonight, matter of fact. I had a game tonight. And I had a kid who was throwing some nasty breaking stuff. And there was a pitch that came up, or that came in up here and then dropped down into the strike zone. Guess what? That's a strike. And whether or not what the definition of a strike, or when is a strike, it's when the catcher catches the ball. And if the ball in the process of that time ticks, clips, hits, passes through, touches any part of the plate, that's a strike. And if it's in the zone, that's a strike. So you can disagree with me, which is ridiculous because I just showed you evidence, and that's fine. But I think the common thing we can agree on that it was not as egregious as everybody is making it out to be. It wasn't an 18-foot outside pitch that the umpire just missed. No, it's a lot closer than that, and actually it's a strike. So maybe we'll start with that. Get to a common ground there. Milt Thompson was fired as hitting coach in July of 2010. Milt Thompson was fired as the hitting coach in July of 2010. From where? Phillies? What talk about Milt Thompson for? Robbie runs the ship, and it's the Titanic. Yes, and we're coming up on the. Was that today? Or was that tomorrow when the Titanic sank? Is that an omen? Are we? Are we going down? What are you doing here? Why are you home? Are we going down to is this some sort of rabbit hole we're going down? Some sort of omen? All of our hopes and dreams of World Series are in Robbie's hands. Just let that sink in. It's more than that, man. It's probably more. It's in Dave Dombrowski's hands. That's what upsets me the most. Again, because I think we got to put this in context, because Dave Dombrowski probably went to John Middleton at some point in the offseason and said, we're fine. We can make this work. I can win a World Series with Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas platooning in center field. Alec Bohm will be fine. We'll get him out of his head. That's what's scary. I don't think Rob Thompson has much say over player personnel. I don't think he has any say. I think he's a mindless, he's told what to do and he does it. He's like Nick Sirianni without the Super Bowl trophy. And that's a bad thing to be. I mean, it's a bad thing to be with the Super Bowl trophy, but it's even worse thing to be without. I don't think Rob has any say on how that team is run. And I don't think in the clubhouse he has any say. I'd like to know what Rob Thompson really does other than try to mess things up. If you swung and missed, you would be blaming him for swinging it. It's not a strike. Al, I don't know. What am I not showing you that? I don't understand what you're talking about. The ball is caught inside the strike zone. It's a strike. You just don't want to admit to that. You don't want to admit that your BCIB, and I'm not saying this is personal to JT. I'm sure if it was anybody up there, you'd have the same feeling, that got locked up in a situation with runners on first and second in the bottom of the seventh inning, down 8-4 when the Phillies were desperate for runs. And even though let's just for a remote possibility that it was not a strike, you're going to blame this loss on that one pitch? In the 300 and some odd pitches that probably happened throughout this entire game, and on the Giants side, the 180 pitches that they threw to the Phillies, you're going to blame a 10-4 loss on that one pitch? Again, perspective, gentlemen and ladies, perspective. And that was a strike. Again, let's play it one more time for Big Al. Big Al didn't. I don't know if Al saw it. I want to play it for Al because I enjoy doing this. Let's do it. I'm going to keep up his comment here and let's play it one more time. There's JT all sulking. All right. So again, let's set it up. Bottom of the seventh inning, runners on first and second, 2 outs, full count. JT Realmuto knows it. Catcher knows it. Pitcher knows it. By the way, Al, that's Miller. That was the pitcher the Phillies traded to the Giants for your boy, Junior Marte. The umpire knows how critical this is. The 40-some-odd thousand knuckleheads in Citizen Bank Park know how important this pitch is. Ruben Amaro, Tom McCarthy, Scott Bransky, Kevin Stalker, the fanatic. What's the guy's name that does the stupid? Who's the PA guy again? That guy. He knows it. The guy selling hot dogs knows it. The guy running the team store knows it. The guy that works in the memorabilia store down there on the first level who sells the game used base pads, they know it. They all know how important this pitch is. And let's roll it. Let's roll it. And I'm going to stop it like I've been doing. Here we go. Here we go. And let's stop it right there. Okay. That's a ball. Is that a ball, Al? And I'm not looking at your comments. So is that a ball? It's not a ball, right? That's not a ball. That's not a strike either. It's a ball in flight. It's a pitch. It's a undeveloped play. It's a play that's still live. It's all those things. Now we're going to let it go. Now, under Big Al's philosophy, that the call should be made right here because it's outside the strike zone. And yes, in theory and in reality, not theory, in reality, it is outside the strike zone. So let's make the call right here. But unfortunately, Al, in the big boy world of umpires, we don't do that. We stay with the pitch until it's completed. We stay with the play until it's completed. We observe. We engage. We're locked in, waiting to see the play be finished. Now, for the 22-year-old nerd that's working in the control room for NBC 10 that's about to pop up the erroneous little ball outside, he's maybe taking cues from you. Maybe you were texting him from your house saying, hey, man, that's a ball. Put it on the screen. But no, that's not how it works. And I'm going to show you how it works. Let's play it. Boom. That's a strike. Matter of fact, that's like right down the middle. So I'm sorry. You're not going to sell me on any other thing because I've been there, man. I've been in the trenches. I've seen stuff like that. I've dealt with stuff like that. I dealt with it tonight. What's your thoughts on the robot umpires in the minor leagues? Now let's face it. Let's stop calling them robot umpires. It's ABS. That's what they're using down there. They're using the same thing that they use in spring training. It's the same system. It works well. Again, I am in favor of it. I'm not saying that it's not needed. Absolutely is. I'm in favor of the challenge system. I'm in favor of the ABS. I think it's actually really cool. You get 2 challenges that the pitcher, catcher, or batter can utilize. And as long as you keep getting them right, you maintain your challenges. I think that's a perfect way to do it. And I hope that it's implemented sometime soon. I do. But I'm also going to tell you that in a situation where, say, they don't have the challenges and this play works itself into existence, what are you going to do? There's no other system that they're going to be able to create. And I'm telling you, tomorrow, Joe, when they put out the umpire card, I put them up on the Twitter thing all the time. I want to see if this play made it on there. What tech does ABS use? It isn't box tech part of it. No, I don't think it's that box tech. I don't know what technology ABS uses, because here's the problem too. The home plate's a 3-dimensional shape, and what you're looking at on NBC 10 is not 3-dimensional. I don't know the technology they use. Honestly, I don't. But I'm going to tell you what the naked eye is telling me. Now, would ABS support what I just said? I don't know. I don't know that answer, because we don't have that situation. Now, I'm going to be watching for a situation similar to this may pop up in the minor leagues at some point this year and see how they handled it. Trust me, I will not let this go. I'm going to continue running this thing down the hole. I will. Al, listen, I'm not trying to tell you that you're completely off the res. I'm not. But I am going to tell you that you're off the res. All right? It was a strike. And it's plain, and you see it. As you see it, everyone sees it. It's a strike. In real time, when Corky in the control room of NBC 10 stuck that ball up there, yeah, it made everybody pissed off. And the way that ball came into the zone, absolutely. I can see where it would have been confusing, but the best point of view for that ball was right where the umpire was standing. And that's the best point of view for any ball or strike, is right where the umpire is standing. You don't got to like it. You don't. It's part of the game. This guy is drunk. It's an umpire conspiracy. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. You guys think it's it's like the WWE or WWF, and the umpires are like part of that. They're switching sides all the time. Yeah, no, man. This is a serious question. Who do you think, if Robbie finished the season? Who do you think, if Robbie finished the season and let go, who do you think would be? I've maintained this, Mike, since day one. Don Mattingly. I want Donnie Baseball here. I mean, his son's a GM, right? I want Don Mattingly here. But it's an interesting question, because it does pose up the question: can a manager like Don Mattingly, could a manager like a Jim Tomei, could a manager like a using this names, Terry Francona, and throw Joe Girardi in there? I know he's not coming back, but could those managers get through to the players up today? And that's a topic that I think needs to be investigated, because I'm not sure, because we saw Girardi not make it with this group for whatever reason, and I would love to know what was going on there. And Girardi didn't seem upset when he got fired either. If you guys remember that, Girardi was like, because Dombrowski said it, Girardi was like, oh, thank God, So I would love to see an old school baseball guy, a Don Mattingly, come here. We tried the old school baseball guy. Girardi didn't work. We've tried before that. It was Kapler. Well, I don't know what he was. A lot of things. I don't know what he was. But then we try. Then we tried Rob Thompson, who's a players guy. It's not working. Could Don Mattingly succeed with this group of players? I don't know. But I don't know who could. I mean, is there a guy out there that's, maybe an up and coming guy that hasn't had a shot in Major League Baseball could succeed with these guys because he'd let them keep doing what they're doing? Something's got to give. Maybe it's not necessarily the manager. Maybe it's the players. Maybe it's the dynamic of what's inside that clubhouse. We don't know who the leader of this team is, Michael. We've never known that. There's no vocal leader. There's no guy that we can point to and say, that's the leader. And I know you're going to say Schwarber, Some of you are going to say Harper, but no, it's confusing. We knew through different eras of Phillies baseball who the leader was. We knew that clubhouse was controlled by Utley and Howard back in the day, right? And Rollins. We knew Darren Dalton controlled that clubhouse with John Kruk. We knew that those were the leaders, right? We can't say that definitively in 2025. And I don't know what kind of dynamic that is, or if that's, or how that is. I'm concerned that a manager, and I think Don Mattingly would be perfect for this job. I really do. He hasn't been managing for a while. He's been sitting on a bench in Toronto. He was their, I don't know where else. I don't think he's in Toronto anymore, but he was their bench coach for a few seasons. I would love to see Don Mattingly come here. I think we need an old school baseball guy that's been working with new school people to try to make this happen. A hybrid, if you will. So no, I am 100% on board for Don Mattingly to come here. That would be my choice to be the next Phillies manager. I can see his team coming. I hate the box. I don't need to see it on the screen live. It's not, because it's not legit, Barbara. It's really not. It doesn't show the complete picture. You know, the plate is, what's it, 17 inches across, 17 and a half or something like that. 18 if you count the black. You know, it's not showing you the nuances of that ball. It's not. That ball could just barely clip the edge of a plate. Guess what? That's a strike. It may not look like it on TV and it might be outside the box, but it's a strike because it clipped the plate. And I don't know if there's technology. I don't know what ABS uses. Maybe I'll get into that and try to figure that out. I don't know what technology ABS uses, but I don't know if the technology exists unless you got sensors on the plate. Maybe they got to do that, and they got to put sensors on the plate that pick up the ball as it passes by. Maybe that's what they need to do. I don't know, but that box has caused more harm than good since it's been implemented. You know, NHL had the good sense of getting rid of the stupid ass, was it ESPN with that glowing line with the puck and all that. They had the sense to get rid of that, but the stupid box has tainted baseball and has made it really unenjoyable in a lot of ways. Here are my choices for next Phillies manager: Jim Thome, Jimmy Rollins, Dusty Baker, Raul Bond. I mean, there's some decent names there. I mean, you got 1, 2. Everybody on your list does not have any managing experience, with the exception of Dusty. And I don't know. Dusty's like a John Tortorella kind of guy. He's got a shelf life. He comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. And it falls apart quickly on him. I don't know why, but it's everywhere he goes. It happens like that. So, I mean, Dusty did interview for the job back in 2000, right? I mean, he was one of the finalists when Girardi got it. I don't know. I don't know about Dusty. Jimmy Rollins, that's a name that intrigues the hell out of me on that list. I would love to see what Jimmy could do as a manager. And God knows he knows how to win. I mean, he's a world champion. So not a bad list. Not a bad list. Roseman should run the Phillies and Sixers. Whatever. I'm not getting into that, Barbara. I don't have the strength for that tonight. I'm not blaming the loss in that pitch, but a momentum killer. What? A strike? Your hitter got frozen by a ball that looked to appear that it was going to be outside. That's not that is a momentum killer, but it's not because the umpire missed the play. It's because your hitter got lost in the moment. I've said that moment was huge. It was a huge moment in that game. I agree with you. 8-4, runners on first and second. Phillies were 1 for 9 at that time, or whatever it was, with runners in scoring position. By the way, for those of you keeping track at home, and I am, Phillies are now batting 196. 196 with runners in scoring position through 2025. 196. It was a huge moment in that game. Absolutely. 100%. Maybe he should have gotten the bat off his shoulders and at least tried to foul it off. So don't blame the umpire, man. Blame the hitter. What is it? Don't blame the game, don't blame the game, blame the player, or don't blame the player, blame the game. What is that? Dan Baker. God damn, why did I forget his name? I see his little face in my mind. I can hear his voice, but I forgot his name. The ball or strike calls going back and forth means nothing. As I said earlier, the Phillies were not winning. Yeah, Michael, and that was my point too. You know, we're gonna put this game on that one pitch, and I get it. I believe what you're saying. I know it wasn't the reason why they lost. It wasn't, but a lot of Phillies fans are using that as the excuse of why they lost. It had nothing. That was one moment in the game of once again not being able to move runners in, not be able to score runs, not being able to pick up clutch hits. Watching Taijuan Walker have a terrible second inning, but you know what? To Taijuan Walker's credit, he settled down, and I didn't think he was going to make it out of the second. I thought we were going to be getting a steady dose of Ruiz, Banks, the whole gamut of bullpen arms tonight. And I thought this game was going to get out of control. I thought they were going to lose like 23-4, but they didn't. Walker stabilized, and Walker right now is the best thing we got going in that position at this particular moment in time right now. To his credit, he stabilized. The Phillies did absolutely nothing to back him up. They were only down by 3 runs at that point. It was only 6-3. And I know people are saying, well, the game got away from the Phillies. In the second inning, when you're only down by 3 runs, the Phillies had the entire game to try to get back in this thing. So again, I'm not going to blame that one pitch. And I know most of you are probably not blaming that one pitch. But what do you do? What about the other innings of this game where they were lifeless at the plate? And the 1 for 10 or 1 for 11, was it 1 for 11 for the night with runners in scoring position? You're supposed to swing at anything close. That's right. Protect, kid. How many times have you heard that coming out of a dugout? I hear that all the time. Come on, kid, protect. Be a hitter. Don't let the umpire decide your fate. Be a hitter, kid. Or maybe in this case, be a hitter, BCIB. Come on, remember Logan O'Hoppe. Let's go. Majority of the media are saying it was a ball and not just Philly media. I was just at a SF Giants post game YouTube chat, and they're saying they got a real break. Again, Kevin, man, what do I got to do, man? I just showed you the video. I don't care what the media says. I guess I'm part of that, but I just showed you the video, man. I just showed it to you, and I just showed it 1,000 times. It wasn't a ball. Is anybody else breaking it down like I just did? Is anybody else slowing it down and showing you exactly what happened? No, they're using their own they're using what they remember from the game, and they're making a decision. The game was 10-4, and that one play wouldn't have changed the outcome. I mean, it might have. I was more. It was the home run call or the foul ball that would have been the bigger outcome changer right there, where you missed that home run. Again, I just could have sworn that ball changed direction as it was getting towards that foul pole. I thought it might have clipped it, man. These Philly players are so soft; they don't take orders from anyone. They don't. Milt Thompson was the Phillies hitting coach 2010. And was fired. I was just making the point because someone brought up. Right. And Kevin, I'll ask you this. And it was brought up that Kevin Long could be scapegoated in this situation. And I believe if that happens, that's a coward move by the Phillies. It's an absolute coward move. Because I maintain, just like in hockey with the power play coach, I get it. I know what their job is to do. But what are you teaching NHL level players about a power play? What are you really teaching them? That the head coach doesn't have his hand in. Same thing with hitting. At the MLB level, what exactly are you trying to unlock from a player at the Major League Baseball level as a hitting coach? If you haven't unlocked it yet, I don't know if you ever will. So if the Phillies fire Kevin Long, I think it's a coward move. And I'm interested to know what you guys out there think. It's a coward move if they scapegoat Kevin Long because of this situation. I believe it's a coward move. If Matty comes to manage the Phillies, that would be the 3rd manager in a row that has managed. Was the bench coach for the Yankees? Hey, that's okay, man. I get it. I get it. I don't know. I just like Don Mattingly, man. I've always liked him, and I think he'd be a great manager. And he was good in Miami. He was good in LA. I want maybe not Mattingly, but a Mattingly-esque type guy, we've done this in the card review segment. We talked about who was the player that we did last week, who was a manager. I can't remember his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Was the manager for the the World Cup team, the World Cup of baseball team back in 2017. That guy. That kind of play. Tino Martinez. God damn it. Tino Martinez, which is a former Yankee, but you got my point. Right. I'm looking for a guy that maybe did not retire, that maybe played a little bit into this new era. I don't necessarily want anybody that's kind of part of, like, grew up in this era of baseball. I want someone that came from that end of the old school, like I like to call it, the end of the 80s, 90s, that generation of player. That's who I want as a manager of this team. because I think those guys are. So when I was a soldier, right, I was raised in the old army. I was raised under some harsh leadership, some harsh stuff going on. But when I matured into a leader myself, it had changed, and it was this new, softer, kind of more huggy feely army and politically correct and all that. I had to adapt to that, but I still had my old school ways about me because I was trained by old school people. So I was like a hybrid of old and new leader in the army at that time. And I kind of I thought it was very effective because I had perspective of how like draconian some of the things were used against me as I was coming up the ranks, and how effective those things might have been and how effective they weren't. I thought it made me a better leader. And I think that if you get a player that came out of that era of baseball, the late 80s and 90s, and maybe coached a little bit in this era, they had the perspective of both worlds, and they could be a more effective leader that way. And that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, Girardi, it didn't work, obviously. Kapler, who knew what Kapler was, but Girardi, it didn't work. But I would I'm okay with giving that a shot. I really am. Barber at the time, a walk would have put the tying. It would have put the tying run on base. But again, who was following? Wasn't it Bohm behind JT tonight? Am I right about that? JT was batting sixth, right? And Bohm was batting seventh. Am I still here? Oh, tying runs are on base at the all time. Plus, it was 8-4, so then tying run was not on base. Well, yeah, it would have been, because the tying run would be coming up to the plate. I get what he meant. Dusty worked in Houston and went on a couple of World Series with the Astros. Yeah, I know. But again, I've just seen the end. I mean, Dusty's been like 1,000 places in Cincinnati, Chicago, Houston. I mean, he's kind of made the rounds, and everywhere he goes, he's successful for like a short period of time, and then he kind of fizzles out. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want him, but I have better candidates in mind. Yeah, semantics. Buck Showalter, there you go. Let's bring him in. Is he still alive? That's a good one right there, man. Chase Utley as manager. I absolutely would love that. Chase Utley as manager, and Cole Hamels as the pitching coach. Jimmy Rollins as your first base coach, because he can also run the defense in the infield. And Ryan Howard as your hitting coach. No, not Ryan Howard as your hitting coach. Ryan Howard, your bench coach. Your hitting coach will be Jason Worth. There you go. There, or Jim Tomei as your hitting coach. Let's do that, man. That would be amazing. That they would pack him in. Rob Thompson would be Gomer Pyle in the every time I listen to Ruben, I do the Phillies game, so I'm listening for a manager job. I would not want to see Ruben Amaro Jr. Manage this team. I would not. I thought he was a terrible GM, and I don't know what kind of manager he'd be. And by the way, I think he never got past. I know he went to Boston after he got fired by the Phillies as GM, and he was their first base coach for like a year or two. I think that's the closest he got. But no, I do not want Ruben Amaro anywhere near this baseball team as a manager, or Ben Davis at that fact. All right, listen, we went over an hour, kind of continuing the talk on tonight's game. And I guess tomorrow we'll table the championship part until tomorrow night. Well, I do want to get your takes on this tomorrow night. The narrative around town, especially towards the Phillies, and I said this long before we started this rant, was that we are so twisted around trying to win championships in this city that we're losing our enjoyment of regular seasons, that we're not able to sit here and enjoy regular season baseball because everybody is so like hyper focused on getting to October. And I disagree with that. Of course, I think we are focused on October. Everyone wants to get there. Everyone wants to be part of that dance. But I don't think we're hyper focused on it. And I think it makes for better entertainment than worse. And why would we not be fixated on championships? This baseball team's won 2 championships in 142 years. So tomorrow we're going to table that till tomorrow night. We'll get into that, and as it pertains to all 4 of the majors, not just the Phillies, but all 4 of the major teams. Joe House says, who pitches tomorrow? That would be Jesus Luzardo versus, what's his name? Verlander. Yep. Luzardo versus Verlander tomorrow. Isn't Pat? He is. He is the hitting coach for the Giants. A year ago, Robbie was like my tweet when I told him he should be considered being a manager. Raul Ibanez. You know what? That wouldn't be a bad choice either. I like Raul. I always like Raul. I hear Skip Schumacher name thrown around. Yeah, I mean, it would be good. I don't know. Skip is a little too old for me. Good show. We're not done yet, Michael. I got couple more segments. Let's get into the of the night segment right now. Okay, this is the other night segment. This is where we obviously go and talk some Flyer prospects, Philly prospects, draft targets, whatever. Tonight we're staying with the Phillies. We're staying on the Phillies, and we're going to head into their prospect pool again. Last night, what did we do? The MLB draft, right? Tonight we're going Phillies prospect, and tonight it is the outfielder by the name of Dylan Campbell, who currently plays for the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. Campbell, strong and compact. Campbell has a well-deserved reputation for spraying line drives to all fields and was among the best in the Dodgers systems last year with his 24.3% line drive rate. His strikeout rate did go up, but he typically has good pitch recognition and a solid approach, making good swing decisions, and there's confidence he'll be able to make adjustments as he progresses. He's not a burner, but he runs well and used his instincts to steal 42 bags in 2024. So there you go. Dylan Campbell, a project currently playing in high A with the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. He is your Phillies prospect of the night. Everybody, there you go. Dylan Campbell, one of the lesser known players. He is like number 25, maybe in the top 30 in the system. So he's one of the upper ranked type guys in the Phillies minor league system. Hey, I'm the only one to give. Yeah, what's up with that, man? Give me some likes, everybody. Thank you, Kevin, by the way, for stepping in there and setting everybody straight. I need some likes. All right, let's finish up with the best part of the night. Even as we disagree with most of the show and we argued at times, we're going to wrap it up on a positive note with my favorite segment of all time. Yep. MattyB's card review segment. This is where we take one of my vast amounts of sports cards that I have, and we have some fun with it. We play with it. We talk about it. We walk down memory lane with most of this stuff. And tonight we're back in baseball. Last night we were in hockey. We did the Cujo card, the rookie card for Curtis Joseph. Tonight we're going back to baseball, and we're going back to a player that was certainly somebody that we all looked up to in my generation as children. One of the better. He was the National League's answer to Ricky Henderson for me growing up. A guy that played the game one way, and that was hard, fast, and just an effective leadoff guy for many years at the Montreal Expos. I, of course, am talking about Tim Rock Raines, man. And this is his 1988 Topps All-Star card. In 1988, this is what the Topps one of their inserts from the 88 Topps collection was All-Star cards. Now, not every All-Star player had a card. I think only 10 of them did. And this was Tim Raines' version of that card. 88 Topps was somewhat of a letdown after the 87 Topps and their wood grain paneling, epic, cards that came out. The 88 series Topps was somewhat plain Jane. We've gone over a few of them on this show, but this is a very colorful card. I really like what they did with their All-Star cards that year in 88 Topps. This card is somewhat worthless, $2 or $3 on any database. I think I'm selling it on my eBay page for like $3. But Tim Raines was a man amongst men. A batting average of 294, 2,605 hits, 170 home runs, almost 1,000 runs batted in, 980, and over 800 stolen bases, 808. Time with the Expos, White Sox, Yankees, Athletics, back to the Expos, Orioles, and he finished his career in 02 with the Marlins and was a coach from 05 to 06 with the White Sox. His career highlights: 7-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champ, Silver Slugger Award winner, NL batting champion, 4-time NL stolen base leader. Had his number 30 retired by the Expos. He is in the Expo Hall of Fame, and he's also in the Washington Nationals Ring of Honor, and he's a member of the class of 2017 of the Baseball Hall of Fame, was inducted on his 10th ballot of eligibility and received 86% of the vote. A pain in the ass for Phillies fans, pain in the ass for the Phillies as we battled the Expos through the 80s. The Expos were, one of those teams that just never could get it all. They had some great players go through there, and Raines was one of the best, a Hall of Famer in every aspect of the word. When I think about stolen bases growing up, I think about 2 players, and that's Ricky Henderson and Tim Raines. They were definitely individuals that transcended their positions, and they were individuals that changed the way that runners attacked the base paths. And truly a great player, Hall of Famer. And this card right here, the 88 Rock Raines Topps card, again, not really valuable. You would think it would be more valuable than a $3 card, but it's not. But it's a cool card. It's a colorful card. It holds a place of reverence within my collection. And there you go. MattyB's card review of the night there, Tim Raines. And here it is in its physical form. This is a clean card, sharp edges, good centering, very not faded. This would probably grade out as a PSA. I'd say 9. Yeah, I'd give it a 9, 9.5 maybe. My luck would be a 7. But I've seen this card at $23 as a PSA 10 autographed. So that would definitely increase the value. But in this base set form that I have here, about $3. So there you go. Tim Raines, our card of the night on the MattyB card segment. MattyB, they called him Rock because he used to keep a clump of cookie in his uniform pocket. And Barbara, I know that. Well, you have to. There could be kids watching here, Barbara. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? All right, that's gonna wrap me up. We will do the uniform segment tomorrow. We'll get the NL Central out of the way. I apologize, we ran late. Phillies conversation dominated the day. We will also go back into the championship conversation of why it's so important and how we should be wrapped around championships for our Philadelphia sports teams. But remember everything that's happening on the It's a Wrap Sports Network tomorrow. Here is your Fighting's final lineup. Steve Fuentes has got you. Mike's got you on Wednesday, and I'll be coming at you on Thursday for the rest of this series. On Sunday mornings at 9 till May 4th, you got Pat Bernard and the wraparound. Then on May 4th, the PM and the AM show returns. Thursday nights at 9, Pat and Steve bring you the greatest or the best in union entertainment with the Attacking Third. And then I am with you every Sunday through Thursday at 10 p.m. for the final word. Now, remember, I will be on vacation next week, so no final words after Wednesday. All right. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. Let's take 2 more of these comments. Look at all the talent that was in the Expo organization that wound up on other teams. Randy Johnson, Pedro, Larry Walker. Geez Louise, we can Dante Bichette. I mean, the list goes on and on. They knew how to build talent. And you know what? Dombrowski was the Expos, was in Montreal. He was part of that back in the day. And what happened to him? Good show. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll get back to more of us. Hopefully the Phillies win tomorrow so we can talk more of, we can actually have a set show. But great show. Thank you, Joe. Remember, that was a strike. And I'll go to my deathbed saying that. So you guys have a great rest of your night and even better tomorrow. We will talk again tomorrow night. We'll see you.